If you want legendary weapons like the Jupiter and Equalizer, you need to complete the Harvester event. The Harvester is protected by a few arc, including the Queen, and has a puzzle inside. In this video, I will be covering all of the Harvester's mechanics, what loot you can expect to find, recommended items to bring, and how to complete the Harvester puzzle itself. The Harvester has a few mechanics you have to work through. The first being the launch sequence every 45 seconds, which is where the Harvester launches probes into the air, igniting the whole interior of the Harvester in flames and opening 3 sets of shutters to exhaust them. Next is finding and placing 3 fusion cores inside the center of the Harvester, followed by the Harvester sending out electricity throughout the whole interior, stunning and draining all of the shields of any raiders inside, and lastly destroying 12 yellow nodes through the room. The Harvester event is only available for 1 hour at a time during certain times of the day. Now this is in real world time. All the times shown are in coordinated universal time. To begin, you need to get to the Harvester, which is protected by the Queen, a Rocketeer, and some Wasps and Hornets. There are 2 ways you can get into the Harvester. You can just book it if you time it right to where the Queen and Rocketeer don't see you, but every time you have to exit the Harvester during the puzzle process, you risk the arc targeting you and killing you. But if you're on a free loadout, that's your only option. If you bring your own loadout, there are a few items to consider bringing. First is the photoelectric cloak, which allows you to move undetected by the arc. This method will help alert you to other raiders approaching via the arc while inside the Harvester, assuming they don't have a photoelectric cloak as well. Alternatively, you can bring some lures to move the arc away from the Harvester while you approach it. The other way is killing all the arc except the Queen ahead of time, unless you really want to, but killing the Queen takes a lot of time. If you are careful during the process, the Queen won't be able to kill you. You can clear out all the other arc by shooting them from a distance, preferably around cover, bringing them to you, and then killing them. This way the Queen will not get involved. It's best to bring a hole cracker, showstoppers, or wolf packs to clear the Rocketeer. You can stun it with the showstoppers, allowing you to get on top and melee it, or melee it on the ground if it flips over, or just make it easier to hit overall. 2 to 3 wolf packs will drop it pretty quickly, and targeting the 2 front thrusters with a hole cracker make quick work of the Rocketeer. The Wasps and Hornets will be no issue with heavy ammo. This method ensures you will not have to worry about getting down by the arc throughout the process of solving the puzzle. You will notice the Harvester launches probes every 45 seconds, igniting the whole inside in flames. When this happens, shutters on 3 sides of the Harvester open up to vent the flames, then close after. You can either slip in right before they close after the flames have dissipated, or you can pry them open afterwards. During the launch sequence, you will need to step outside the shutters. You can stay pretty close to the shutters without catching fire. To escape the launch sequence, you can also jump out via exhaust ports on the top of the Harvester. I do not recommend doing this at all though, especially if you've left the arc alive. The Queen, Rocketeer, and any other nearby arc are bound to make your Harvester run very short. Once inside, you will notice 1 pillar in the middle of the room with breachable compartments, as well as breachable compartments on the upper story of the Harvester. These can be reached via 3 lifts found around the room. You will need to find 3 fusion cores. 1 will be laying on the floor on the lower story. The other 2 will be inside the breachable compartments on the 2nd story of the Harvester. Once you breach them, it will either be searchable or hold a fusion core. If it's searchable, just ignore it for now. You can come back later when you're not on a time crunch and loot it. Once you have all 3, line them up in front of the breachable compartments of the middle pillar, but do not breach them yet. Wait for the next launch sequence, step outside, and then start inserting them with a fresh timer. Breach each one and slide the fusion core in. The fastest way to do this is to have 1 or 2 of you breaching them open, while the 3rd comes up behind and puts the fusion cores in. Once you start this, the room will be electrified periodically, shocking you worse than Hassan's dog and draining you of all your shields. You can either unequip your shield, ensuring it won't lose shield charge, or just recharge it later on. Once you initiate this phase of the Harvester, by breaching those compartments in the middle and putting the fusion cores in, it will increase the time that you have in between launch sequences. Instead of every 45 seconds, you now have about 1 minute and 25 seconds before the next launch occurs. Once all 3 fusion cores are inserted, 12 yellow nodes will appear in the Harvester. You need to break them all to complete the puzzle. You can do so by shooting them, hitting them with explosive grenades, or meleeing them. If you don't complete them all before the next launch sequence, they will go back into the wall. After that next launch sequence, you will then need to reinsert all of the fusion cores in the center of the room, as it will spit them out as the launch sequence begins. It will not reset what you have already done though, so if you destroyed 7 of the 12, those 7 will still be destroyed. Once you destroy all of them, the puzzle is complete, which means the launch sequence and electricity will no longer happen. The pillar in the middle of the room will reveal 3 searchable containers, holding high-tier ARC components and legendary blueprints for the Jupiter and/or Equalizer. You are now free to loot the rest of the compartments, then leave when you're ready. If you brought a Raider hatch key, you can extract via the closest Raider hatch. This will be much safer than taking any of the regular extracts. If you or your group is struggling, feel free to come join our Discord, the Caliber Collective. We have tons of ARC players and do harvester clears throughout the week. If you are looking for more ARC Raiders guides, tips, or high-level gameplay, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck topside.